Good morning all. This part we are going to study Constitution of India. As we know, Constitution of India have different parts. We have to understand the sources of Indian Constitution and the schedules, the amendments so far made and the writs. This part 1A, is just only for 20 minutes and simply explaining which are the parts and how to remember. I am giving very easy tips to understand the parts in the Constitution of India in a simple manner. Anyone can study, especially this is for LLB students. So we can go into the silent features of Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is the supreme law of India. The base of every laws in India is based on Indian Constitution. So it was initially adopted based on the first Indian Government of India Act 1935. It was adopted on 26th November 1949 but effective on 26th January 1950, which is we are celebrating as Republic Day. The longest written constitution in the world is Indian Constitution. We have to understand the written constitution concept. There are so many other constitutions in other countries which may not be written fully. Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world. It consists of 448 articles, 25 parts, 12 schedules and 104 amendments so far, and it is continuing. Amendments is still continuing. So while you are watching this video, it may be 105 or 106, whatever it may be, it is continuously amending by the Parliament. And for time being, it is consists of 25 parts. The 25 parts means each part contains some of the articles, and total articles is 448 articles. And there are 12 schedules and so far 104 amendments. As I said earlier, it is adopted mainly based on Government of India Act 1935, far before our independence, and the other parts are adopted from different countries like South Africa, former USSR, France, Ireland, Canada, Australia, Britain and United States of America. So that doesn't mean we adopted every part of this constitution of these countries, but some part that we will discuss in the later part. Supreme Court and High Court has power to issue writs based on the public interest. These writs are 5 writs, mainly 5 writs are there. These things are the salient features of Indian Constitution, specialities of Indian Constitutions. This can be elaborated when we are writing exams. We can go deep into the parts and the articles. Here I am not going to explain each and every article, but each and every part and how to remember these parts in easy way. As I said, there are 25 parts. We are dividing these parts in the order, and we are giving a tip to remember how, the order of the parts as well as what is the headings inside that part. So you can easily remember each part and specialties. Articles you have to refer, because articles also in order You can see that 1 to 4, then 5 to 11, then 12 to 35, like that it is coming. So at least you can remember some articles in some parts. You can understand the other articles are coming in which part. We can easily study. At least if you refer this video 2 or 3 times extra, you can easily understand the total parts. The part 1 is dealing with Union and its territory, Indian Union and its territory. Indian Union means it consists of states, union territories and other territories like oceans, the nearby sea, Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, like that. So those territories which are included in the part 1 and articles are 1 to 4. So whenever you go for union and territories, you have to refer article 1 to 4. That is coming in part 1. And regarding citizenship, it is coming part 2. Regarding fundamental rights, it is coming article 12 to 35, which is one of the most important part in Indian Constitution. That part articles we will discuss later, each and every article in part 3, because it is one of the most important topics which is continuously repeatedly asking in LLB questions. Part 4 is DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy, which gives an idea and the instructions how states should enact their policies. This part is also very important and it is covered in Article 36 to 51. And Part 4 has a subdivision, that is Part 4A, that is Fundamental Duties. We have to understand Part 3 is Fundamental Rights, Part 4A is Fundamental Duties. Part 5 is the Union, definition of Union and how Union should be considered for different cases. That is covered in Article 52 to 151. In Part 6 is the states. So, to remember these 7 parts, I have a small wordings. You can fly directly from US. At the top it is shown that you can fly directly from US. U means Union and its territory. C, citizenship. F, fundamental rights. D, directive principles. F, fundamental duties. Do not confuse with these two F. First F is for rights. Second F is for duties. Another one is part 5 U. This U and this U is different. First U is Union and its territory. Second U is the Union. S is for states. So just this sentence you can write orderly part 1 to part 6, and remember that there is a subdivision for part 4, that is part 4A, which is an important topic, fundamental duties. We can go to next slide. In this slide, the tip is using paramilitary copter. You can remember from the previous tip, you can fly directly from US and continuously you can fly directly from US using paramilitary copter. So it will be easy to remember these two sentences continuously. So you can fly directly from US using paramilitary copter. So using U means part 7, not part 7. Part 7 is deleted in the amendment, 7th amendment in 1956. So that is in Article 238. This is a small part, you have to remember yourself. Part 7 is deleted and it consists of Article 238. The next is coming using U. Part 8, Union Territory. Here a little bit confusion you may come, because Part 1, Union and its territory. Part 5, the Union. Again, Part 8, Union Territory. So how this difference we can analyze? The first is the Union and its territory. That is depend on landscaping. You understand, it is depend on land. Second is the Union. As a Union, what is the specialities? And Part 8 is for Union Territory alone. So first one is Union and its territory. Second is Union alone. Part 8 is Union Territory. So these three difference you have to understand. Then using paramilitary copter, U means the Union Territory. P is Panchayat. That is easy. Panchayat. Next M is municipality. Third is cooperative society. So first comes Panchayat, next is municipality, third is cooperative society. You can remember it as corporation, but in here it is not corporation, it is cooperative societies. That difference you have to understand. And the articles related to this are mentioned. 239 to 242 is for Union Territory. 243 to 243O is the Panchayat. And 243P to 243ZG is municipalities. And the cooperative societies coming after is G ZH. 243 ZH to 243 ZT. This article names you can remember after studying the parts in order. It will be very easy once you write in this order and using this tip. So we will go to next. Next is a simple maths, 10 plus 5 plus 6, and the 10 starts part 10. You remember that part 10 is 10. 10 is for tribal. 10 is for tribal areas. So part 10, the scheduled and tribal area. That is Article 244 and 244A. Very simple. Part 11. Part 11, I said 5 plus 6. The 5 stands for union. The number of letters UNION. 5 letters. And the states. States is 6 letters STATES. So 5 plus 6 is 11. That is part 11. So part 11 is for relationships between union and states. So part 10 we said tribes, that is scheduled and tribal area. Part 11 is for union and states, relationships between union and states. So this part is also we covered. Next term is fruit taste sweet to eat. This is a tip I am preparing. Is commonly using tip. You can prepare your own tip so that you can remember easily. So fruit, F stands part 12, finance, property, contracts and suits. Finance, property, contracts and suits, it is all related things. Finance, the money matters. Property related to land or movable or immovable property. And contracts, when you sell a property or give money to someone, there should be a contract. And suits, suppose you have any dispute in finance or property or in contracts, that comes to suits. So that is part 12. F stands for finance. Balance you can write. It is covered in Article 264 to 300. Next, taste. Taste is for trade, commerce and intercourse within the territory of India. Trade means we have to sell or buy in between. There is money involved, that is commerce. And intercourse within the territory of India. What is the conditions when you trade or doing a commercial activity between the states or territory inside the territory of India? That is part 13. It covered under Articles 301 to 307. So the tips you have to remember: fruit, taste, sweet. Sweet is service. So part 14 is service under union and states. That is covered in 308 to 323. Part 14 have a subdivision, that is 14A. Before that we saw 9A, 9B. Another one is 4A, 4 and 4A. So 4, 9 and again 14 have subdivisions. So this you can just remember that subdivisions where it is coming. 14A deals with tribunals. That is section 3, Article 323A to 324B. 15th part 15th is election. So 2 means tribunals, each means elections. You can think that each elections eat so much money. So like that also you can remember part 15 is election. So fruit, taste, sweet, to eat. Okay, we can go to next part. This is the last section, part 16. Special provisions relating to certain classes. So tip I am giving is sow Oreo, eat Maggi and tomato sauce. I can elaborate that I saw Oreo biscuit, but I eat Maggi and tomato sauce. Or even I saw Oreo biscuit is there on the table, but I eat Maggi noodles and tomato sauce. This is the tip. So Oreo, eat Maggi and tomato sauce. So is part 16, special provisions relating to certain classes. Part 17, Oreo, official languages. Part 18, eat, emergency provisions. Part 19, Maggi, miscellaneous. Part 20A, amendment of the Constitution. Part 21, again T, temporary, transitional and special provision. The provisions made temporary. It may provided for a temporary purpose. What are the provisions? Transitional provisions. Transitional means it may change on duration of time. Such provisions are known as transitional provisions. And special provisions, for a particular case alone, if a provision is made, that called special provisions. Such things are covered in part 21 under Article 369 to 392. And the final last sauce, tomato sauce. T is for temporary. S is for short title, commencement, authoritative, text in Hindi and repeals. So all these parts are covered. If you want to remember again, I can repeat very fast. You should not skip. Silent features, you must remember that it is supreme law adopted by Constitutional Assembly of India on 26th November 1949, but effective on 26th January 1950. It is the longest written constitution in the world. It consists of 448 articles, 25 parts, 12 schedules and 104 amendments. Adopted mainly based on Government of India Act 1935. Other parts adopted from South Africa, USSR, France, Ireland, Canada, Australia, Britain and USA. That is, apart from Government of India Act 1935, there is South Africa 1, USSR 2, France 3, Ireland 4, Canada 5, Australia 6, Britain 7, US 8. 8 countries. Okay. And Supreme Court and the High Courts have special power to issue writs based on public interest for the public. These is the silent features. Next, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we can remember. You can fly directly from US. Part 7 to 9b using paramilitary copter. You can remember. Part 10 and 11, 10 plus 5 plus 6, 10 means tribal, the scheduled and tribal. 11 means 5 plus 6 is 11, so part 11. 5 means union, 6 means states, so that is covered. Next, fruit tastes sweet to eat, part 12, 13, 14, 14a, 15. Only one thing you have to remember, 14 and 14a is there. Next is so Oreo, eat Maggi and tomato sauce. So we covered with these small tips, all these 5 small tips. If you remember, you can cover all the parts, that is 25 parts in together in the easy way. Next part we are going to learn elaborately the sources of Indian Constitution. That will be part 1A2. You have to subscribe this channel to learn this. Thank you all.